If you could grade every WWE champion right now, what grade would you give them? Hey there, everyone. It's your girl, Denise Salcedo, and today I am going to be grading every single WWE champion right now. Now, the last time I did this video was back in May, and believe it or not, some things have changed and some things have not changed. So we're gonna get right to it and see which champions are truly championship material. So we're gonna kick off the list with the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. Now, granted, they've only been champions for a very short amount of time. They won the titles at SummerSlam, had a rematch on Raw, and they've mainly been having little bits and skits on the show. However, I gotta give them a high grade here because I think that they're off to a really good start. They've got me more invested in the women's tag team division. I love the odd couple pairing, the dynamic between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I love the way that Alexa Bliss has helped Charlotte get cheered again by fans, and I love their chemistry together, and I did enjoy the way that they won the titles at SummerSlam. So for that reason, I gotta give my girls Charlotte and Alexa right now a B. And the only reason they're not getting an A just yet, it's too soon. But once they go out there and start competing a lot more with whatever women's tag teams they could throw together so that they can have some challengers, that grade is hella gonna go up. Alrighty, next up we have the Wyatt Six. So this one's a little bit complicated because I feel like they've been part of a really good match since they won the tag team titles, and that really good match was the TLC match that took place at SummerSlam. But here's the thing though, is that the way that they won at the end, the finish of the actual matchup was not good, and the crowd kind of felt a little disappointed when they won. So even though they were part of this amazing matchup, a lot of it had to do with the other teams. And overall, I feel like a lot of the spotlight of the tag team division is on the other teams and not necessarily so much the Wyatt Six. So I think right now I have to give them like a D because I think that they need to have better matches on their own, just them as a team. And then from there, we can kind of judge it a little bit differently. I just think that there's a lot of stronger teams on the SmackDown tag team division. And if you were upset because I gave the Wyatt Six a D, you're probably going to be less upset when you find out what I'm giving the tag team champs over on Raw, the World Tag Team Champions, and that's Finn Balor and JD McDonough. I have to give them an F. I'm so sorry, but I am not digging this tag team. I wasn't digging it the last time that they were tag team champions, and I'm not digging it now. I had to go back and try to remember when they actually won the tag team titles. So they won the titles on June 30th, 2025, and since then, they've only had one match where they actually defended the championship, and that was in July 28th. We're already mid-August at this point by the time the video comes out, and I just feel like they really haven't done much. They've kind of been a little bit boring as champions, and the Raw tag team division feels kind of slim, and it feels even more slim right now. So I gotta pass on them as champs and unfortunately give them an F. All right, next up we have the Women's United States Championship, and I'm so bummed to have to say, why aren't they having Julia wrestle more? She has been champion since late June. She won the title June 27th on SmackDown when she defeated Zelina. As of this video, granted, I'm shooting this a couple days before it actually aired here on YouTube, but as of this video, she's only defended the title one time, okay? Even if she does do another matchup from now until I publish the video, that's like 2 matches, okay? And it bums me out because Julia was ripped away from NXT, and you can feel the difference from her not being on there, or Stephanie not being on there, Roxanne not being on there. And I thought, oh man, she's gonna be like cooking on SmackDown. Oh shit, she's United States champion. Shit is about to go off. She's about to be amazing, right? And it felt like there has been no real story there. There hasn't been a spotlight shined on her. She hasn't been in competitive matches. I have been sadly let down by this reign. Now, granted, this is not Julia's fault. This is just them not giving her matches, not doing really anything. And I've been so disappointed in the Women's United States Championship in comparison to the Women's Intercontinental Championship that has had a great story with Bayley and Becky and Lyra and all that they have done there. there is fantastic. There has been such a bright light on that title. And given that the United States title for the women was born around the same time, you would think that there had been a little bit more. But so far, we had Chelsea Green as champion, and it was very comedic. Cool. It was fun, and it had its great moments. Then we had Zelina, and it was fine, whatever. It was more of an emotional moment for her to be champion. And then we had Julia. I thought Julia was going to be the one to really solidify and make this title mean something. But right now, it really doesn't feel like it means a whole lot. We need a champion, whether it's Julia or somebody else, that is going to make this title really, really mean something in this division. Because right now, it's just a plaything until you actually put some prestige on the belt. I think Julia is that competitor to do it, but they're holding back right now. Stop holding back. Let's go. So sadly, I have to give Julia's reign right now an F. And that is unfortunately due to no fault of her own, but rather just the booking around it. All right, moving on. We got the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Becky Lynch. Becky on the other side, the Intercontinental Championship is, talk about the grass being greener on the other side. They have put so much attention into this feud. We have seen so many different championship matches. It's gone back and forth. There's been so much. Becky Lynch, God, she's been on a roll. She's got a new theme. She's been kicking ass in these matches. She's had great promos. I feel that Becky Lynch as Intercontinental Champion has been tremendous. And for that reason, I got to give Becky an A on this one. I think she has been a fantastic champion, and they have really made the Women's Intercontinental Championship matter. Next up, we have the United States Champion in Solo Sikoa. Now, Solo Sikoa has been champion since Night of Champions 2025. Now, that was June 28th. Since then, he has had 2 title defenses, one against Jimmy Uso on Saturday night's main event. This match wasn't terrible. There were some enjoyable aspects of it. I actually did end up enjoying this match. And then the other one was a SummerSlam match with Jacob Fatu, which I thought was awful. I was so not impressed with the matchup, and I was so disappointed in the outcome. I thought Jacob Fatu should have gotten his championship back. I feel like they stunted some of Jacob Fatu's growth and buzz on the show, which I do not appreciate, because I'm team all gas, no breaks, and I love Jacob Fatu. Get that championship back on Fatu, please. I'm not going to give it an F because at least there's been a little bit of a story around it, but I'm also not going to give it a high grade because the matches haven't been fantastic. So I'm going to be generous here, and I'm going to give this one a C, all right? And I'm being generous. I think it's more of a D, but I'm going to give it a C because they've done a little bit more with his United States Championship reign than they have, for example, Julia's championship reign. So for that reason, I got to give it a little bit extra more. Alrighty, next up we have Dominic Mysterio as the Intercontinental Champion. When he won this title at WrestleMania, there was such magic in the air. He was getting a massive babyface reaction. The match was so much fun that there truly was electricity floating around Dominic Mysterio. Felt like the world revolved around him in that moment. And since then, I feel like I've been chasing that feeling where I want to see that again with Dominic Mysterio, but he's sort of been just like thrown in the background of this whole Judgment Day stuff. They've been doing this thing where he's kind of flirting with Roxanne, kind of not flirting with Roxanne. Unfortunately, Liv Morgan has been injured, so who knows how much that shouldn't have really impacted Dominic's reign, though, because he's still a champion and he's going to be competing with men. So I don't feel like that should have taken anything really too much away from his reign, but I do like the stuff that he's been doing with AJ Styles, but I do wish that, again, we got to see him compete a little bit more. I wish that he was a babyface because it just feels weird that he was a babyface at WrestleMania when he won and since then hasn't been a babyface. This whole vibe surrounding Dominic Mysterio's Intercontinental Championship reign has felt a little odd to me. So I'm going to give this one a C+. I think if he was competing more, I would bump it up a little bit higher. But for the most part, I think until he has more matches, then it could be something more, but right now it's sitting at a C+ for me. Tiffany Stratton is up next, and she is our WWE Women's Champion. Tiffany, I think, has been doing everything she can to really make herself into a strong champion. She's been champion now for a while. She's had a lot of different competitors: Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Jade Cargill, Trish Stratus, and I feel like she has been doing a tremendous job. I don't think that her matches have been to the same level as the ones that that Becky Lynch has had as Intercontinental Champion, but I still think that she's been going out there and killing it. I was so impressed with the match that she had with Trish Stratus at Evolution. I have to give Tiffany Stratton an A- as champion. The only reason that she's not yet like an A or an A+ is only because I do think that the quality of matches can improve. But other than that, I think she's been doing a really kick-ass job. So as of this video, Naomi is still the women's world champion. However, there's been a lot of question marks surrounding Naomi. Is she injured? Why wasn't she medically cleared to compete against Io Sky? As of this video, mind you, I've shot this a couple days ago before it actually aired on YouTube, but there hasn't been any updates on Naomi. Now, if there is as of this video, then I'm gonna kick myself, but whatever. I can't predict the future. But the point is that Naomi has been doing great character work. Her promos have been on fire. She knows what she's doing. She looks like a star. She's presenting herself as a star. The way that she won the title at Evolution was magnificent. Big, massive fireworks when she cashed in on Rhea and Io. And then you also had the matchup over at SummerSlam when she competed against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. A great performance. It did not top the WrestleMania Triple Threat main event, but it was still a really great performance nonetheless. Unfortunately, since then, we really haven't seen anything else from Naomi. She's only been cutting promos, and we didn't see her this past week on Monday Night Raw. So that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna only judge this off of what I've seen since she won the title, and since she won the title, I gotta give this girl like an A, because again, the character work, I have been so in love with what she's done. I think she would have definitely gotten an A+ if that triple threat match would have been anywhere near as good as the WrestleMania one was with Bianca Belair, Rhea, and Io, but it didn't touch those levels, at least not in my opinion. And so for that reason, I'm sticking with an A. But I'm rooting for Naomi, and I'm really, really hoping that she is back and ready to continue competing. So these next two championships are going to be very hard to judge, especially because they've only been champions for a couple of weeks. And the first one is Seth Rollins. He cashed in on CM Punk, ruined the moment, World Heavyweight Championship. And now for Clash in Paris, he's going to go into a fatal four-way. And he did have a match with LA Knight that ended in DQ on Monday Night Raw on August 4th. So it hasn't really been like amazing, at least not in my opinion, because you know I'm still salty over the fact that he cashed in on CM Punk, but whatever. I'm gonna try my hardest not to be biased. A lot of people popped for that, and he did fool a lot of people when he faked the injury. So it's been a short period of time. So I'm going to give Seth Rollins a B. All right, fine. I'll give him a B. But again, that's really B for like the last 2 weeks. Like there hasn't been that much that has happened yet. So it feels too early to be very confident in that B. But at least for this short time since SummerSlam occurred, I think it is B worthy. I feel like I said B so many times in this. All right. Moving on. The next one that we have is Cody Rhodes, and he's, of course, our undisputed WWE champion. He won the title after taking it back from John Cena in a massive moment. A great match at SummerSlam, and granted, again, it's been such a short period, so he's very hard to judge. I liked the match with John Cena and Cody Rhodes a lot more than I liked Seth Rollins cashing in on CM Punk, so for that reason, I'm giving Cody Rhodes an A, even though it's only been 2 weeks and there's not much else to say. But those two, like however long it's been from now and SummerSlam was great, so A. I feel bad. I feel like the grades for Cody and Seth don't really feel that. I don't really feel that confident in it again because it's just been such a short period. But that is where we're at with the main roster champions. So I do want to go ahead and jump into the NXT champions. But before I get to the NXT champions, if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing right here on YouTube, whether it's this video, some of my past videos, or my podcast, I invite you all to check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/Denise Salcedo. I have been posting so much content on there, including podcasts. I drop early editions of the videos that you see here on there. I do Q&As. I do Thursday AEW watch-alongs. I put so much content out there, collabs, podcasts, you name it. Again, that's patreon.com/Denise Salcedo. For any of you who would like to join, the link is in the description box below. All right, so NXT champions, NXT Heritage Cup, Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Ooh, I hate the Heritage Cup. I'm not a big fan of the Heritage Cup, so I'm gonna have to give this Channing Stacks Lorenzo Heritage Cup champion like a D. NXT Tag Team Champions Hank and Tank. I feel like they have been doing a decent job as champions. I was rooting for them for a very, very long time to even become champions. So I gotta give my boys Hank and Tank a nice solid C. NXT Women's North American Champion Soruka. I want her to compete so much more. I think she's such a great performer. So I'm gonna give her a B-. I think her grade would be a lot higher if we got to see her wrestle more often. But every time we do always see her wrestle, it's always really quality work. NXT North American Champion Ethan Page. I don't like the storyline. I think this is very hokey, the stuff that they're doing with him as North American Champion, but only emphasizing the Canada part, even though Canada and the United States, they all clown as North America. This whole storyline feels like a hot mess on the show, and there's been so much happening. A lot of it to me hasn't really made too much sense. So for that reason, I gotta give this honestly a C-. Like, I just don't think this story is good. NXT Women's Champion JC Jane. I've been watching her stuff on NXT and Impact. This has nothing to do with JC's performance itself, but rather I do not like the booking that they have been doing surrounding the Knockouts Championship. But right now we are not grading the Knockouts Championship. We are grading the NXT Women's Championship. But I do think that a lot of attention has sort of shifted and been so much more on the knockout side, where I don't feel the attention has been as big on the NXT Women's Championship side. So I gotta give this one, honestly, a D. I think that the heel work has been great, but that's been the extent of it all. I'm ready for a new champion. And we also have Obafemi, NXT champion. Obafemi has been doing a kick-ass job. Anytime he has matches, it always goes very well. I, again, wish he had more competitors to work with, because if he did, I think he would be a stronger champion. But I think he's been doing what he can with what he's been given. So I gotta give Obafemi a B. But I do think, again, if he had more competitive matches, that grade would be a lot higher. Well, there you have it, my grades as of right now for our current champions. Go ahead and list yours in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more daily pro wrestling content, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.